be able to beat and have those reactions.
All right, let's check in with our casters and get the game underway.
Yes, thank you, Veracity. Thank you, Desk, unpacking a MOUZ versus Outsiders match for a spot in the playoffs. I mean, this could very well be one of the best chances that each of these teams will have between now and, of course, tomorrow. Hell, there's a lot of recency between these two teams. I think that's what makes this so interesting. When we contrast Outsiders and their Spirit game yesterday, never before did they have that head-to-head to this. You know, we've got BO1s and BO3s all over the place. And we've got frags opening up inside the B site. Kicker, well, he'll find JDC, and it seems as though the B site collapses early here. So Frozen and Dexter, a desperate attempt at the retake. I mean, we're talking 0 damage here, Launders. Nothing. No reason to believe this 2v5 should come through. And Outsiders just tuck in.
Quick start, yeah. It's been a pretty decent draw for Outsiders, and when you brought up that it was a good match for them to qualify off of, it's definitely true. And they also played against Spirit. That was a nice test for them because it was like a matchup that definitely could have gone either way in a best of one. And it was Outsiders just proving that they were better, and they could have won that game by even more rounds. So I think that was a very kind of nice confidence win for them because Spirit have been aiming very well. But in terms of the teams that they're playing, you know, they haven't had to play against NAVI. They haven't had to play against Faze, even though it seems like anyone can beat Faze right now. They had to play against Vitality even. So some of the better teams in Legends, they've avoided those matchups. And they played mostly even strength teams and just kind of done their job. Like they haven't had any struggle. So they ended up losing their one game to Heroics the first round for Outsiders.
No shame in that.
Yeah, no shame in that whatsoever. Heroic very likely to win their game today and qualify. When you look at MOUZ though, they beat Liquid 16-2.
Smoked.
I mean, Frozen had an outstanding map. That was like a 2-point-something rating, 22 kills. And they absolutely destroyed Liquid, and they even beat Vitality on Mirage, which is, in this series, going to be very important.
Of course, that first MOUZ map goes down on Inferno.
Or it could be very important, I should say.
And Outsiders versus MOUZ, very accustomed to the Inferno. The 2 best-of-1 wins that MOUZ have over Outsiders, both times Inferno.
Well, 3 times they played in that
Yep,
best of
the
3
BO3
as well.
as well.
They're 3-0 on Inferno versus Outsiders, so they could reasonably expect to take it. Of course, it's a little bit worrisome for them that they keeps happening, and eventually you would assume that the team who keeps losing can figure something out. So I'm sure MOUZ were worried about that. And in this series, the last time they played, Outsiders just won 2 out of 3 maps. So for surely Outsiders have quite a bit of confidence coming into this series and are probably pretty angry.
Sure, yeah, a little pissed, right? Revenge.
Yeah.
Could be sweet. I think it's going to feel real good for Outsiders to have been able to get this overpass pick as well. One of the biggest blowouts of this entire major was, of course, Outsiders versus Fnatic on overpass. And now we know that Fnatic, they're no chumps. They're also fighting for a chance tonight to get into the playoffs. So I'm stoked. But we'll get through these measly pistols. MOUZ playing it passive inside B site. We'll find nothing whatsoever till Frozen gets at bat. And James, he'll drop Dexter. So we go from 5 survivors in the pistol to 4 survivors in the conversion. That's a Mach 10 move forward, all 3 AKs. It's good for Outsiders to start early T-side. And it's tough for MOUZ because it's pistols yet again.
It is. Now, this is actually like a B&E level stat, but the 2 matches that MOUZ have played on it overpass, they've won both of them. 83% win rate on CT side. So they're probably already a little tilted that they lost this pistol to Outsiders, but they're probably looking forward to playing the rest of the CT side for sure.
One Deg on Frozen. Talk about his impact as of late. It's been keeping it up. You know, and I think I disagree with Kassad a little bit prior coming into this game, saying that, Torzy hasn't delivered in the face, in comparison to James. I think that obviously James op can just unravel everything, but man, we have seen, I think, the potential ceiling of, let's say, Torzy, right? He will take over maps.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's clearly been, very good. I think maybe he's talking about the comparison between him and, MONASY, who's, top 15 this year.
Okay, fair.
So something about expectations out of Academy League comparing to MONASY. If to be, I guess, charitable to Kassad's take, I can only assume, because I'm sure he obviously looked at what Torzy has done. And for people who are unaware, what's happening here? People who are unaware, Torji and Monacy are the two biggest star oppers coming out of the Academy League. And even in the Academy League, you know, you could say that Torji was even better and more well-rounded in some spots. So
that's why he's at the major.
High expectations. Yeah, indeed.
James? Oh man, it's a lot of money. 4 Mac 10 kills. How does James go all the way through A site, down into B, and then Outsiders still just trickle through that monster? You know, 4 players down, MOUZ are probably thinking Exertion can throw the Hail Mary at the A site retake, but no. James said, everybody pause, sit still. This one's mine. And well, racks up that money. So James, as the guy who can always afford an op, will certainly be able to do so. $5,400 in the back pocket before the round comes to an end. 8.6 already accumulated here for Outsiders. So very strong start. XMG bonus. You know, we're talking 1 death against them in the round prior. This is, you know, a lot of just build up already for Outsiders. So MOUZ, buy up. Let's see what you got.
It's nothing to gloss over. It's a pretty ideal round here. The fact that James gets all the kills and he's the only Mac 10 of the round. And then him dying, he just gives up a Mac 10 to take over. So no big deal whatsoever. It's kind of worst nightmare situation, right? I mean, the difference in money between, like, let's say they all got opt versus even 1 Mac 10 kill. It's like, gotta think about that. Ooh, Torji had an opportunity. Shot between 2 inside a con, and they'll have to fall off this position. So the fast play into con could have been a scary idea for Outsiders. It would have been a fast 5v4, but instead now they've lost their position. The T still have 5.
Torji with a sliver. Speaking of Academy players with impact, Exertion, the late addition to MOUZ.
The best rifler in the Academy League.
Yep, and the best rifler in the Challenger stage, essentially. Rating was through the roof. I believe above a 1.4 prior to the Legend stage starting. And we saw that, you know, I think stats continue to get padded when they just blew Liquid out of the water. I think the loss to Big was actually quite shocking to me. You know, especially with the way MOUZ get through challengers, the way Big barely scraped by. And then that match wasn't even close. I didn't get to cast it myself, but just seeing the result was kind of like, oh, MOUZ aren't going to go flawlessly through the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because it's sort of, that's how it felt with how good everything was coming together. But here in their gun round, it's down to the 35-second mark. They better be ready to play every single second of every single round when it comes to the Outsiders.
Single is very important as we go late into the round because there will be a lineup that come here, but that's why Kickert is very aware of it. So there goes Dexter, and there goes Long Control.
Torzi snips Fame as he tries to press in through the flower pots, and Frozen still fighting. Nice kill from Norbert as he caught Torzi through smoke, but that flank, it's gonna be the end all. Exertion, nicely done, slots in at the most perfect of time because things started to look like they were gonna go south, and Torzi, well, he couldn't escape with his life through that smoke, so we leave it on Exertion and he delivers.
It's really well done, and he's the guy to make up for Torji's missed shot in the beginning by getting that opening frag, and then ends up being the rotator with con control to get them back into this round. So really well done here. A couple of clean kills so from Norbert on the entries, and just that amount of damage keeps the CTs in check. Dexter is sitting here with an MP9 now, but the op still in play for Torji, most importantly. And because of that money that James made, an op again comes through with a full buy behind it. But MOUZ will be fully well aware of the problem they've created for themselves running into that Mac 10.
Nothing lands there from Frozen. Dexter, of course, communicating the presence.
So Dexter here, they wouldn't have thrown that Molotov if they thought Dexter was in this corner, because they had to expose themselves for a second. They might assume the re-aggression is coming. Of course, Outsiders are quite a particular team, very detailed, but yeah, Flit's watching it still. So, wow, he takes that fight on his own terms. That's well done. This is, however, a perfect setup for the attack that could come through into the B site.
Still cooking.
Yeah, with this setup, you would hope a rifler will be forgotten about because, you know, we wouldn't want to run to the site if there was 2 here.
Nice flash. Short player in JDC. Yeah, he's got it. 2 kills. Nicely done. Excellently done, in fact.
Wow.
And then they slide together into victory lane because James, he's going to go for the save instead. Solid positioning. Both players delivering those frags, and Outsiders find 0 foothold inside that B site. Rock solid defense from MOUZ.
It's the perfect counter, and they kept one on the A site, solo and Frozen, jump spotting back from the back of Dice, or Torji, maybe it was actually, and Frozen rotated back up, and they just trusted him to, if they don't see anybody, then there's going to be a problem. Yeah, when you have 2 on the right side of Monster, that's when you know that you've given the other team a little bit too much information. For whatever reason, MOUZ knew this was coming. Looking very well prepared once again. Played off these angles extremely well.
It's so wild to see these guys sitting here in the, legend stage of a major, because it was you and I just 9 months ago, I feel like, in Kyiv, commentating them in the We Play Academy League. It's really just such a blow up.
Yeah, it's surreal. And people would just get used to seeing him at this level, but they won't understand how quickly they got here, and it's not even as if they're scraping by.
Right? They look so good.
They're ahead of most teams at this point, which is amazing.
It's, like back-to-back champions in the Academy League, and you think, well, that's great for them, but this caliber of comp. It's like they look so much better than everybody else, but we didn't get to see them in, any real top-tier circuits. So,
yeah,
so fun. Such a, I mean,
it is, and like MOUZ have never had like a kind of championship level team. They've been tournament ready, but like not major ready. There's never been a favorite at any of the majors in history. They've had some of the great players, they've had Chris J when he was in his prime as an Opera, of course. There was players like Nex and players like, Rops played on this team. I mean,
Nico?
They have had some big names, yeah, but they've never been a tournament favorite, I think, ever.
Torzi falls away with the smoke down. It's, of course, that retrieved M4 for Fame. Frozen, nice. Slides in, cuts down 3, and bomb goes down to the dirt. So, James, yet again, just like last round, left to leave. And MOUZ's setups from A and B, both looking solid at the start of this CT side. It's a tied game already, and we talked about that great start economically for Outsiders, but now all of a sudden this puts a real dent in that progress. So James will hang on to it. At least that AWP will be present in the next one. But it is indeed MOUZ with what looks like a good CT side thus far.
It is interesting that, well, they haven't played Overpass versus each other yet, and Outsiders now we're seeing them try Overpass more consistently. They pulled off a couple of very strong wins, and I think have shown themselves that it's worth bringing its tournament ready to bring into vetoes. But it's not a punish versus MOUZ, who have a couple of clean games on it so far, and even though they haven't shown it that often, it's just they haven't missed just yet.
It really is wild that coming into the major, we hadn't even seen this Outsiders on the map, so it really does feel like Rio specific. I believe they played it 3 times already.
Yeah, first time I think it was picked against them and they won, and then they were like, okay, I guess we're good, let's pick it.
Yeah. Then IHC tried it, or maybe they were the first.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Different.
IHC were the first, and that was the test for Outsiders, and they were like, yeah, okay.
Great first test as well, I'd say, because that game was actually arguably very close.
Yeah.
And considering the tier of competition difference, shouldn't have been. But every step of the competition has just been put back even worse. Fnatic get blown out on it. Kicker will not get the better of JDC. Ooh. Nicely done.
Wow.
He just plays around that smoke. He sees them coming, gives himself a little room to wiggle, and delivers. Flit and Fame left 2v4. And Flit will, of course, finish off the water player. Torzi, all the while, just trying to keep attention back towards Connector, because we've got this exertion sliding into the bomb site. Fame prepared, gets himself both, and he's got enough time to try and play this clutch with an AWP to boot. However, Frozen already down in the water. Oh, that duel was so close, but Frozen just 5 feet in front of where that Ops crosshair landed, and it would have been a glorious 1v3 to get Outsiders back with a round win, but instead it's MOUZ's continuation.
Yeah, they would have regretted that second peek. You have to be very careful around Fame. I mean, if he has an incredibly good aim, and even though the aim is also great for MOUZ here in this situation, he will buy Outsiders some rounds, for sure. So that one was close when he switched out to the op, but low HP catches up with him. And Frozen, of course, still the best player on the team, despite all the new talent that's come in. That one will sting a bit, considering how close it came, and then JDC's back pit hold was so solid that even this trade, it was like the best trade angle possible. It's like the other side of the site where Kicker came in, couldn't get that little bit of extra damage. And on Dust 2 versus Spirit, Kicker was not having a great time. They still won the map. I think it would have been a lot more one-sided if he had had kind of a few more kills. And so I'm sure he's kind of mad at himself just for not playing to the level we know he can play at as well. He goes very underrated on this team.
Looking like a little bit quicker. Ooh, lines up. Norbert, good pistol frag back at least, but it's the fact Exertion slides into the same angle. Him and JDC working in unison. I like Outsiders just playing with time like that, you know, doing something quick. At least 2 of the 5 players trying to press in. Could have caught somebody off. Did, in fact, get the better of JDC, but it's that tethering from MOUZ's individuals that stops the bleeding early. We'll get Bomb joining Jame up towards long. Connector has been cleared out as well, so Outsiders reasonably thinking maybe we can just press into this A site. And we know on Overpass, if you can get close to that site, then sometimes you walk away with bomb plants. From bomb plants, you get guns. From guns, you know, this op would look real good in James' hands. But it'll be Dexter up first, and there it is, right? That, like, potential for the opening. A pistol dink right away puts things into a weird state, but Torzy delivers. Jame burning Dexter, finishing off with the pistol started. And here we go. They can get close enough, but unfortunately for Flit, he needs to double back, and that's going to buy the perfect amount of timing for Exertion to come in with that flank. The bomb is being planted open to the flank, but this time Exertion doesn't get in. Not in time to stop it. James slides away. Oh
my God.
Predicting that Exertion could have crossed. Oh, but Exertion, yeah, that internal clock ticks, and sure enough, MOUZ stabilized.
Yeah,
but they do it. They get their entry. They get some kills. They make the most of a bad situation.
There's a cute little plant there just off to the side because of Exertion's flank coming in from Con. They could totally expect it. I think it's marginally scary, of course, when the dinks come through, but there's still enough players here to kind of safely come for the retake. So kind of what you would call a good round for both teams. Money's still here in a decent place for MOUZ Sports. Cyclone, of course, is someone we also can't forget as the coach of MOUZ, also getting that promotion. Used to be a former pro himself. And apparently the only times that he substituted in, he top fragged when I asked just how good he was. So they're ready for anything.
I feel like some coaches would love the idea of getting to jump in for a game. But at this stage, I don't know. That's why we all travel with substitutes nowadays, right? Yeah. I've been watching Pepsor hang out with Fnatic, just waiting for his chance.
Yeah.
Speak of academy players.
True.
The subs are even bleeding out. So, Fame around the corner. Nice time flash from Jame, but frozen again, right? Just like I think comparable down to the monster play of the last round. We've constantly got 2 defenders sliding in, but this time they do, in fact, walk their way out and crouch their way underneath. Exertion in the water, JDC further back. Ooh, he could have gotten caught by that. You see the quick reaction. Kind of catches the CTs off guard. Nice slide out here from Outsiders.
Oh,
they find their slot, and with the flash, keep JDC pinned into this corner. Torzy's going to rotate down. Flit's going to press in close. And the bomb, of course, is planted. Heaven still smoked. Get this eventual flank out from Frozen.
Yeah, Norbert's taking a risk here, but there's no one up in Heaven, so he's got himself a really strong spot.
Could work out wonderfully. Flash over the side. Flit and Norbert both firing. These are positions known. Audio could cue in Frozen. And Flit to short seems exposed. That's going to draw James in. He gets that and hits the leg shot, but James survives. 2 op frags out. And sure enough, we've got Outsiders busting through that B site. And it comes off of originally long A presence.
Yeah, they just flash flame. I always call him flame. Flashed Fame around the corner on long. And then he saw the double push coming out, and then it seems like, okay, if there's 2 riflers here, it's not even Torji, then the B site might be weak, so James like, okay, let's try the walkout on Monster again. We've wanted to attack this part of the map before. Last time we did it on in a moment where everything was quiet for like 30 seconds. It could have been anywhere. Here we have some solid information. Let's act on it.
Wasting no time at the bottom of Con. Kicker. Give it a chance, but that'll bring MOUZ back into the site a little. It lands inside Kicker. A fiery chapeau. But MOUZ don't actually follow forward with it. Just 3 players inside B site holding. Norbert has no vision. JDC doesn't have the best of guns, but when you combine it with this position, can shred flesh from bone. James says, give me all you got.
This is a stick-up.
Torzy.
Ooh, key spot for him.
Ooh, easy, minute flick into Fame, so he just gets completely barrel stuffed when he tried to walk into bathrooms.
It's kind of a must-win position, but a very advantageous fight, of course. So he doesn't even have a smoke to actually rotate out of here. But these aggressive plays are what makes Torji stand out as an operator.
Ooh, Kicker doesn't even get a lot of damage off. MP9 succeeds in killing Norbert, and this one's going down real smooth. Run, James, run. Like every other round. James gonna fall on back. Contents. It can be funny how, you know, James just kind of keeps his teammates all at that arm's reach, but then we see it last round when he needs to come in and just close down the kills, he's there. But if you don't do your job, James not gonna risk himself. Collateral, my God. But Torzy up and above, how many bodies you gotta throw at this guy just to take his op away?
Yeah, James is obviously a fantastic closer. He is definitely a baiter too. And his op play style, I think, was very influential in that 2020 period where a lot of other operas, CIS opera, Shiro, and even Brokey was, you know, appeared to be aggressive, but actually wasn't when you looked at the stats. There were so many people who realized that if, you know, your DPR is as low as possible, then your team just has an op for so many rounds. You're constantly doing economic damage, and you can never play an anti-eco versus a team that has an op, where you always have to play it like it's almost a full rifle round, and you're always on guard. And as annoying as it was for James, since his team kind of subscribed to his philosophy on it and allowed him to be as annoying as that, like, it worked. It really made it, you know, strugglesome to play against Outsiders. So he's actually one of the few who's maintained that style, and I think that almost all the other players that were like that are just, their stats have changed a little bit. But James, he stays true to who he is. Respect.
Remember yesterday during the Spirit game when the crowd was actually cheering specifically for James?
They loved James.
I found out why. So Hugo, earlier, he got the goods. He was telling me that here in Brazil, the nickname for James is the good villain.
Ooh.
Because he always plays well against Brazilian teams.
Wow.
And they like the fact that he's the guy who powers up against them. And so he's got all these, you know, diehard fans. We saw James.
I love that.
You know, I think maybe because he also looks a little bit like the Redeemer.
Yeah.
You know, it's that added lore. But yeah, the good villain, James. He is one of these real characters.
Nickname.
Yeah, right? He's a character for Counter-Strike. You know, it's cool just to see somebody with this completely different identity, right? It's art in that regard. It's his thing.
And he has a YouTube channel with Counter-Strike analysis videos with subtitles.
Let's go. But this round he's dead. Died early. Like all the greats, Dexter, he'll be finding Flit on the side of that smoke, so considering it was just the one weapon moving in, this one goes incredibly flat for the Outsiders. feels to me like they are one of those teams that still has this affinity for like the one rifle buy. I feel like we used to see it more across the board, and nowadays they hang on to that. You see why? Fame.
What?
Nice double entry, tries to come outwards, and Dexter, excellent delivery. 2 kills, of course, to just shut down anything from the bathrooms. They may have bathrooms, but they may not. Entry to A. MOUZ, 3-round lead on the CT side, and Outsiders buy back.
Yeah, I think Outsiders, so we haven't had MOUZ even tested on the T side at all. So they won their 2 games so cleanly on CT side. So that'll be what we want to find out in the second half. Because this one, they'll probably push a little bit more. You know, it's still possible MOUZ just actually clean this game and win it easily. Doesn't feel like that'll be the case, though.
Again, despite Outsiders having the best of 3 win over MOUZ as of late. That went down at ESL Rotterdam, I believe 23 days ago. Overpass is the new piece of this puzzle. And even for Outsiders, again, to reiterate, newer addition to their map pool. Big stage to pull it out.
Ooh, man, this is a crazy lurk. I mean, they got long clear, Torji not here, and they know he's not just holding this passive, so they can just walk all the way around. That is a free scalp. Oh my god, I think Fame just ducked under that. I'm not sure if he could have seen him, but this is really strange because he knows they're doing a bathroom setup, but he can only corroborate so much information. Now they're worried about long because nothing is showing on the map.
Oh,
it's a little bit too late. If Fame came back, of course, he'd be able to get a kill, but now they just organize towards B.
Goodness gracious.
Torji and the rifle would be a little slow. Fame is making the play.
Oh, nobody sees it. He finds Frozen. Wants to see a little more, and there we go. As clean as can be. Fame finds the timing, slots in, JDC just in a world of hurt. And this is the great thing about Fame. You know, filling huge shoes in Yakinders on the T-side entry. You know, we've seen him just absolutely blast his way through B sites on the rush through Monster, but now he gets this sneaky, slimy lurk through the A site, and it looks so good.
Yeah, and pulling off the lurk is one thing, but like Tarek wouldn't have even got a kill there.
Oh, no, too real. Too real, man. Listen, he's playing Valorant. Don't kick him while he's down.
Yeah. He's a big dog over there, though.
That's true.
Doing good.
Yeah, it's true.
We're proud. But yeah, like even just nailing the second one so easily, staying alive, 3 frags overall. Fame did a hell of a job, but this is him getting sent on this mercenary mission out long. Like, let's expose this gap and make them regret not holding long for the entire round for the rest of this half. You know, they're always going to keep eyes on that.
Maybe a blessing in disguise that he actually just slipped by the first player because he ends up down a B site.
Very true.
Gets far more for it, so you know, could have jostled it to the A site instead, but seeing as Outsiders were ready for B, that one is hook, line, and sinker.
They clearly were confused at some point. This map is too quiet. We haven't seen anybody.
Yeah, they missed it by like 7 seconds, not even. So I say and sinker because MOUZ taking on water here. Unfortunately, USP's up. JDC's P250. All they'll have to work. It's a nice early dink on Fame, but he'll slide away, and it's not like he's alone. He gets 2 worth his efforts. Norbert catches JDC, and we've got this B site completely clear for the taking. So this will be Outsiders to nab themselves a 6th on this T side. Still, hell, room to take the lead.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, it's getting a little too scary here for MOUZ now. They've got a quota to meet, and they've already kind of failed to do so here compared to their last couple of games. Been very impressed by Flit as well, as just in terms of his decision making. He seems to always be making a round, kind of a proactive move that keeps the round going, not just sitting around and reacting. Definitely one of the best pickups from Outsiders as well.
Did for a while kind of have to take on the responsibility of being the best rifle on this roster. I feel like Fame slotting into his nows, but...
And I talked to Kicker, and I talked about that quote that Norbert had where he said, when they asked me to join the team, I was very happy because I always looked up to Kicker. Yeah. And I wanted to play with him. And then I asked him Kicker about that, and he said, "Oh." Well, he didn't say it like that. So he went, "Oh."
Oh, they're after me, Lucky Charms.
No. he went, "Oh." my first fan.
Oh, no.
I was like, no, he's your second fan, Kicker, and I'm your first fan.
Oh, that's sweet. My first fan.
So the funniest duo there, Norbert and Kickert.
Oh, man. Tough to keep up with the other riflers on Outsiders. Fame, 14 kills. Flit, trust me, he'll get his. And obviously, James is the star of the show.
Yes. Yes, consistently insane on overpass as well.
It's crazy. I was looking at some of the social medias of the MOUZ guys. You know, I'm considering they're playing so well. I thought they'd be blowing up, but I feel like just in that regard, they're still under the radar, right?
Yes.
They've got a good Cologne run, but
if we looked at, like, let's say on this topic, Cloud9, for example, when they were Gambit and coming up, they were really, really good for a long time before they're even popular at all.
Right.
I think MOUZ have to kind of do like 8 more months, you know.
Yeah. Maybe a little major top 8.
Exactly. That'll make a difference for sure.
Maybe a little major top 4. But they got to make it to the playoffs first. Right now, Outsiders, well, they tried to press into Connector, but that's where Dexter decides to deliver his 6th kill. I feel like Dexter only has 6 kills, but I've seen them be impactful. Locked out that A site once. Kicker.
Oh my god.
Just running all the way in, but so tunnel vision that Frozen can extend out, and then JDC, delayed, finds himself a little bit of impact. So Kicker was on a mission, but he forgot about the secondary objective, which was keep yourself alive. Nicely done from Frozen, just waited for Kicker to deliver himself to the crosshair, and MOUZ gonna 100% lock in a lead at the end of this CT side, but there's still life yet for Outsiders. Opt for Jame, the 15th round about to begin. And look at this, Frozen couldn't have been easier. That second shot is so clean, and then JDC comes out of this smoke. He's been like a little gremlin down in the water.
One of my favorite parts about the last few years and the way people have been playing CT sides is dropping smokes on yourself in the inside. So it was like B-site Dust 2 or like Inferno, or instead of smoking the choke points off only, using the smokes to one way, and when you think an exec is coming in, giving yourself a spot where a Molotov can't land, and then finding a tricky way to play is kind of, I think, made the game a lot more interesting. So we're just seeing them come up all the time, even on old maps like this.
Ooh, Dexter. Again, from back-to-back rounds. First he locks down Connector in the previous. Now he's got the better of Fame. Got this same setup between Exertion and JDC. And Norbert and Kicker, fans of one another, just get smashed inside the monster. Flip will return with one, and then Bomb goes down at the hands of Frozen, who has, of course, secured his spot at the top of the board for MOUZ. And Jame, final attempt here. No reason to save. He's got to move forward. And I actually
believe it.
Love that. You know, this is one of those rare occasions where he will go for this. But of course, he's still gonna milk a little bit of time off that clock. Slides in, grabs Bomb. Yoink. Yeah, a bit too far indeed. Comes out with it, and Frozen's gonna barrel stuff him. So, excellent start to the defense here from MOUZ. Outsiders certainly put up enough, but remember, half those rounds by way of pistol. So when we get into the second one, could end up being very important.
MOUZ have been very good on pistol rounds overall. I don't know. There's just not enough a lot of data on overpass. We'll see about the T pistol. We saw a very strong and confident run through into the B site from Outsiders in the first half. But most would say 6 rounds. That's enough to get through a CT, to get through the rest of a CT rounds. And I'm sure Outsiders feel pretty good about this. So I think there's some pressure on MOUZ to make sure they win this round here. So we'll see how seriously they take it.
Of course, this match observed by Chev and J-Raz for the cinematics. Cameraman Focuses on Fame. That's why. Delivers. First headshot and exertion. Well, he gets the trade. James gonna press into long, and that's a big pickup because now he can come and help Kicker, who's not even alone. This site is stacked, and Norbert slices through the faces of MOUZ as they tried to get them footing into that site. No, sir. Total lockdown inside A. Outsiders pick up both pistols.
Yeah, it was a perfect feel for when the attack was coming on with that one flash and then the peek in from Fame and all the rotators, and James had a very nice peek on long as well. I mean, just a slight shoulder was all he needed. There was just no trouble here. No bomb plan as well. Now it's a 2-round game. We saw a sort of beat the odds performance on Cloud9 yesterday versus Heroic on Inferno. Scary first addition to the top 8. Is that the only team that's now in top 8, Cloud9?
Furia.
Oh, and Furia, baby, of course.
Yeah, you're 3-0, bro.
Oh, what a surreal moment seeing that.
Yeah, right. Still can't believe it, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Here we go. Pistols down long. Fame and James shall feast. They got it. James just gonna tear him up with that SMG again, just like last map, or last half rather. Still first map. His little MAC-10 push down to the B site that netted him a bunch of money. Well, the ump also gets him good. 19 kills to James as he buys into the CT op. 1 round away from tying this up.
So when we saw MOUZ Sports stack up on the other side of Monster in a couple of those rounds, really ready for Outsiders, this is something that Outsiders were very good at as well the last couple times they played Overpass. James extremely comfortable opping alone and calling from the site, even if they're not there. Was able to make sure that the right side of the map was overstacked. So MOUZ will have to work extra hard to make sure that he's denied vision, pushed back. They've got to have a thorough default. I think Fnatic had a particularly bad game there. But if MOUZ are a little sloppy today, their flaws will be exposed. Oh, wow. Good start. If I die as an IGL, I stop calling. That's my toxic trait.
Yeah, you guys figured it. Protect the president, or he gives up. Very quiet one here from MOUZ. It's a very eerie day here in Rio, I can't lie. Kind of feels like the day after a funeral, with Faze being eliminated yesterday. You know, there's some sadness in the air, but there's also like a celebration in the sense that all the other competitors are perked up. Like, oh, this really is open.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
You know, it's like there's, you know, with death comes life.
Furia is major to lose.
James, he's going to catch JDC as he tries to press around bathrooms. We hit that important point of the round where MOUZ have to try and press forward. Frozen will get the ball rolling eventually here for MOUZ, but it could very well come to a quick end. They know where Torzy's at. He gets axed down by Kicker. A few seconds left on that one, and Outsiders never looked uncomfortable, not for a second.
Yeah, great map from James already so far on both sides. And funnily enough, you got to appreciate the anti-ecos in particular in the second round of both halves. Made so much money with just the SMG for his team when he was the only one with one. And now that he's instantly on the op, looking cool as ever. Getting all the freebies. Outsiders were the dark horse pick coming into the Legend stage. I guess MOUZ were too. I mean, super clean challengers, you know, when will it end type of thing. And Outsiders didn't make top 8 at the last major. They did at Stockholm, if I'm not mistaken. They broke into one top 8, and I think that's what gave people a lot of confidence. But just their appearance, their persistence at majors, you kind of, no matter who they're playing with.
Yes, you're correct.
Yeah, okay.
Bested in the quarterfinal by Heroic.
No shame in that.
very tight games as well. Double digits all 3 maps.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they could have won. I remember that.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. And maybe still can. Rio ready for new major champions. Dexter, nice deagle. And JDC finds a home for his as well. But Fame on the flank sees the bomb plant, didn't stop it right away, but you know, give MOUZ a little bit of money, give JDC a little bit of hope. Fame's gonna rip it from his cold, clammy hands. Outsiders to double digits with a lead and a 4-0 start to this CT side. That's the first bomb plant out of MOUZ. It took rifles to get that far, but we now have Fame and Jame, aka Yame, all the way at the top, 20 kills apiece, doing God's work here on Overpass.
No kidding. Oh, so 2 very legitimate deagle shots allow that bomb plant to go down. But that's just about it. Now Sport's starting to let this one slip a little bit, but right into another rifle.
Ooh, damn, look at this foray from Fame up into party. Sees the util, doesn't want to stick around. I like Fame for that reason. I feel like not overly risky. You know, when he has to go kill mode, okay, he'll run that risk, but
yeah, he does rotate back a lot. I mean,
to stay alive.
We always compare him to Ykinder just because, yeah, he's clearly a great rifler, clearly a great entry as well, but not exactly the same player. In terms of overt aggression, being used very well, though.
Watching, you know, Ykinder on, say, Cave of Ancient, always peeking out,
right,
exposing his body. That's not Fame.
You remember like that
like
round?
Jame.
There was like a famous round on Dust 2 where like Ykinder was up cat walking across, and then Jame was in suicide, and like the team ran out of time, and it was like Outsiders, like how do they ever win? You know, win maps. And we don't really see that with Fame in the same way. Where Fame plays a lot closer to the team. He's still kind of up front, gets a lot of entries. But again, it's more of a standard way of playing compared to Ykinder.
Ooh, they've gotten close, and so does Jame. That shot nearly finds its mark without even vision. It's going to bring Fame back. JDC's watching for the upper bathrooms hole, but he makes a ton of sound. That gives Fame the advantage in the fight. He knows exactly where and when it's coming in from. Exertion, well, he would have been spotted by that one, so Fame doing a great job of serving up distractions, keeping Exertion occupied, allowing for his teammates to start to press in. Ooh. But then Fame gets rocked. Exertion has the better of the angles. Torzi's got the cover. Dexter, he gets iced out by Norbert. The retake gets rolling, and because Fame's gone down, Exertion gets back into this site, and it's going to force Outsiders into a save. Jame will not press the issue. We see MOUZ get nice, close, and personal up on bathrooms. Fame, the only player that could have spotted it or stopped it, and that just doesn't happen. MOUZ, they'll take their 10th, their first terrorist round win, and it comes by way of a hit.
Yeah, that was not bad. I mean, that was actually a little too easy. And obviously, if Exertion doesn't get his frag, then there's a much more real chance of this retake coming in, because Exertion comes back as the long player to help out with the A side as well. So you want to give him a lot of credit here for the work he did on his rifle in this round. But Outsiders, they didn't seem like they had a lot of outs to stop that. If we were relying on Fame flanking long, like, why did it come to that in that situation? But Jame got moved out of his position, didn't get them as they were kind of clearing around Banana. They didn't have any resistance inside of bathrooms. So not a perfect round here from the defending side. Oh, not bad. Not a bad timing on that nade.
Ooh, Torzi even gets hit. Stray shots from Kicker. Doesn't shoot back, wouldn't want to reveal the op. They're going to go for the boost, and right now the positions from the CTs.
They're watching it, right? Yeah.
Susceptible to it, but also prepared. Oh, Flit. Yeah, see you later, De Castro. Man's gone down. We get this, aggressive run out from Fame, though. You know, I just tried to talk about the passiveness, but, well, he gets caught out in the no man's land. Exertion just clips him.
Did you confuse Torji's name with JDC's?
No, JDC
What's
got
JDC's?
John De Castro.
Yeah. What did you say?
De Castro.
But you're...
Because he died.
Oh, what? I think I'm... It's late.
It's not even noon. That's all good. Watch James go. Okay, we got a recovery here from Outsiders. Frozen. He's seen a little bit of shadow here, James. Well, he dwells in the shadows. So back he goes. Frozen's going to have to save the op for Torzi. And Flitz 2K, James 2K, nice recovery. I thought when Fame got clipped out on long that things go south again. You know, maybe get close to the A site, but Outsiders just throw themselves at their opponents and take back that lead by 1.
Just one tactic in the middle of all that. And the op coming forward is nice here for MOUZ to try to pose a threat. But state of the game right now is a lot of advantages in the default for the CT side. Putting some damage through on stairs is really easy on Con. From safety as well, I think that's the big thing. Just blowing that door open. And it feels like kind of ways the meta has developed that don't really have to do with natural CT side advantages. Just start to lean even more CT sided, like keeping Con control with the spam coming through. NAVI's kind of the king of it when it comes to getting damage on players who are trying to default that way. So hard to get middle of the map control, hard to scale on A because of the oppers. And then you always want to try to put together a B hit, but it's natural to start 3B because you don't need that much support on the other parts of the map. And so all of that is to say that the T side has to work very hard each and every round.
Ooh, James wanted to get aggressive early. Smoke covers MOUZ's approach. And he didn't actually get any confirmation that, you know, the amount of numbers that are actually coming at him from Fountain. Okay. No way! No way, dude. I'm telling you, he is the Time Lord.
He is prescient.
Sent back from the future.
Wow.
Just 15 seconds ahead of everybody else. That's so gnarly.
Yeah.
Torzi did nothing wrong. Read like a book. Yame set up outside the bathrooms. Dexter.
They don't know about him.
Drops one side of it. Yeah, exactly. JDC walks in unsuspecting. He's ready. Up close. And nope, not this time. Exertion barrel blasts him back. We've got Dexter now on the op, trying to find some kind of entry. All of Outsiders up on B. Or excuse me, nobody at B. That's the point.
Yeah.
Kicker, he starts to peel away.
Lots of incentive for MOUZ Sports to wait this out and see what happens from the CT side. Still 2 here, sitting on the site. They don't know about the con flank, and there's no Ts that have any other map control. So Fog of War is very low for both sides. No Optimus Molly on this one, so they've got their good spots.
2 on truck side, Exertion. Ooh, it's gonna fall to Flit. Norbert, excuse me, comes in with the kill. Flit's the second here, the support. It's frozen into the clutch. He knows there's a player here. They're gonna try to time those peaks, and sure enough, Flit stands up at the end to give Outsiders number 12, and with it, put the economy of MOUZ in a weird spot.
Those are some great shoulder peaks from Flit. Well handled at that end there.
Yeah, Norbert also locking into the corner.
Frozen could have very easily figured that out. You know, if he got that little bit of damage off on Norbert. This is a great opportunity for MOUZ Sports to get into a 3v3 in a situation like this. The perfect amount of patience. And they got it down to 2 players. The Molly, of course, because they were worried about long, but that Molly landed on truck. I think that site gets overrun. But it was hard for them to figure that out. And now we're back to pistols. Mixed by.
Haven't seen a round like this actually net either team a win, I don't think. It's been a clean game of Counter-Strike in that regard. But timing, timing here. MOUZ, they could catch Outsiders a little off guard. I feel like the possibility was there, but they didn't follow through. And just to kind of quell that threat, we see the fire come down on short. So a good amount of grenades actually out of Outsiders already. 1 smoke on Exertion is all that MOUZ will have to support this attack. And remember, Frozen still swings with the AK. Kicker, here they come. Multiple bodies running up. Ooh, easy lineup. Down goes Dexter, JDC, and Torzi. And Frozen's AK still yet to respond. Kickert's position, locked in. Frozen, that's 4. How about, yeah, baby, an ace from Kickert inside the B site. It's just the one AK, but it's a very important round. Keeps Outsiders with a nice 3-round lead. And of course, Kickert from the bottom of the scoreboard just gets his chance to shine.
From 7-12 to 12-12, a nice ace, a clean one from Kickert. They denied the bomb plan as well.
It's that 4th kill, right? The intuition.
Yeah.
That's the one that really kicks it up a notch.
Got a little too quiet.
Shuts
So
down
Kickert
the
just
AK.
started blasting. And we're down to one final timeout. One last chance for Cyclone to join the conversation here and help MOUZ Sports out. This would be their first loss in 3 maps on Overpass. A reasonably good veto from Outsiders. But now that things are starting to play out, I think they're going to feel very good about this veto overall because they played Ancient last time. Now they don't see that. And Outsiders are still kind of proving to themselves that they are world beater level continuously on Overpass, even though we know that in history they can be.
Quick cross into the playground by 2. Oh, poor
Wow.
Dexter. Well-timed nade.
That's 51 damage, I mean.
Yeah. It's a big chunk of Dexter gone. Leave the guy alone, man. He's got kids. Torzi. Ooh. All of a sudden, I just took a glance down at that scoreboard. Torzi, 9 kills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you don't get it on the CT side,
Right?
it's only going to get harder.
Contrast that to Jame. I think maybe I take back what I said earlier because, you know, in this head-to-head, Jame really does go above and beyond in comparison. So at least here on map 1, it's been James' time to shine. And Kickert's yet again. Straight up duel versus the monster push. The flash just not enough to cause him to falter. And so exertion, JDC and Torzi, the young blood, gonna work their way up long. Dexter looking to come join them, but it's a very forward position here from Outsiders on the bathroom. So we'll see if the site gets compromised. Norbert, it's his chance to be tested. And that Molotov destined for him. He holds it. Oh, the nerve. That's what happens when you spend time with Jame, who then comes in, strikes one down from bathrooms. Torzi's gonna get the trade frag back, and maybe Dexter can unravel this, but with only 12 seconds, oh, it's gonna get weird.
Well, they have him locked in now.
He gets barrel stuffed by Fame point blank. Torzi's not going to find any kind of an opening, and with it, Outsiders 14.
Yeah, and they're running around this flank, but it's going to be okay for Torzi. It looks like he's got a good position. They're coming in pretty fast. I think he's okay, though.
All good.
Yeah, okay, and they keep the out forward one more round here, but Outsiders, they lock this down. Nice play from Norbert to stand in that molly. I mean, that is one folly of execing late, is that teams can do that to you. You know, it's still 20 seconds, so it's pretty good. But if you know they don't have time for a first-tier execute, that molly comes down, they wait, they molly again, then you can take a fight like that, and they don't even have time to comfortably clear it. They're worried about back dice and bang. Anybody jumped up on the garbage bin outside of CT. So yeah, cool little play from him. Oh my god. The smallest dink on Jame.
Got that, you know, really big brain, so
Yeah.
just deflects.
Right, 25 damage to the cranium. CT's reorganizing. It looks like they're actually instantly worried about B. They've got a good idea of what's coming in late. We saw Outsiders kind of do this as well. Slowly come up to the B site, wait, and the CTs don't leave. Bomb here outside of Monster starting to work over towards short. I don't know if it's being passed over, yeah. And now it's here where you throw some disruptive utility, listen for audibles and see if there's people on short. No, Molotov's gonna come down in the boost, paint can boost position. But the exec looks like it's about to take place. Only a single smoke here for Torzi. JDC, one flash. No mollies.
Outsiders ready to go again.
Gonna give it their best shot here.
It's gonna have to be a strong assault, clean rifle work, and Kickert last time made absolute mincemeat of the pistols. this time does his job. Dexter down, Exertion prime for the frag, and Jame comes in, catches JDC on the attempt to cross in. It's a boost within the site, perfectly timed, bomb's gone down, and every chance MOUZ get to hit a bomb site, it just comes up flat. Torzy's been spiraling just like MOUZ. Now down by 5, and Outsiders a single round away from a win with a busted economy too. T-side is coming up short for MOUZ. Only one win, one round win in the 20th, that's it. And in addition to that, only one other bomb plant.
Yeah.
Rock solid defense from the Outsiders.
Once again, yeah, when they saw them versus Fnatic, they 15-0'd the half versus Fnatic on CT side. And seriously, they just look so comfortable the whole time. James just been really consistent on angles as well. I mean, he's barely missed this entire half. But the setups on top of it have all just been so perfect. Like, every idea is just like the easiest, least amount of resistance possible to stop a hold from coming in. In that spot, they didn't even have to seek out too much information. They just put 2 riflers in position to support James. They flowed between these different setups as the attack was coming on. There's really just no way for MOUZ to get back into the round. So in what could be the last round, Dexter will have a deagle and most of the utility here. Frozen has a kit for himself. But it's ideas that win matches. We didn't see a very good one last round.
Torzy relegated to an AK, but still one of the 2 best weapons between him and Exertion. Oh, Fame finds a little impact within Connector, which I'd say has been relatively underplayed from Outsiders. So they throw something different at this one, and sure enough, looking to end the lives of MOUZ here on Overpass. A new addition to what has been a very recent and frequent head-to-head between MOUZ and Outsiders. I think the fact that Inferno comes up next is a beautiful piece to this story. 3 recent Inferno games, both best of 1s for MOUZ. They win within that best of 3 for the Rotterdam event. MOUZ win, and Outsiders will have to see if this, improvement and level from Fame and Jame can finally break through, right? You win too many times in a row, it feels like inevitably Outsiders will figure it out. If they can figure out that map here at the Major to get into the playoffs at Rio, my God, no better timing. But there is still a little timing that could go MOUZ's way. This bomb site's appropriately stacked. Flit, Kicker, Norbert looking to hold off, but they both go down for free, and Kicker also empty-handed. Dexter delivers the double. Jame dunks the nade straight to Dexter. The little that's left of him will be finished off by the follow-up frag. I said both names, and they both land. And this has been that deadly duo within this map. So sure enough, a 2 versus 3 attempt falls down to Frozen, and they, with such fresh blood, it's time to find out. Outsiders, they've set themselves up for success, but they have to be better than ever here on Inferno.
Yeah, when it was close, we had a good map from Kicker, we had a good map from Flit, and James kind of been pretty good kind of in each instance. But in this last matchup, everyone was having a really hard time, and James was just kind of top of the board with a few kills, like 13. So individual level might make the biggest difference here, but MOUZ have shown such a strong Inferno at this Major. I really love what they're doing on T side. Their executions look so good. They look like they dry run everything on this map more than anything else. So I don't know. I kind of expect more of the same, unless they get a little nervous.
Lit.
Well, it's a 3 on B waiting for this.
Starting to walk it around. They've already got contact back sight, so you'd think they don't check this. JDC jumps around the corner, dies. Fame. Oh, from a strong play on map 1 into a 3K, potentially 4 here in the Pistols. So, I mean, again, the game combo was the reason that Overpass was such a victory for Outsiders. And Frozen is going to be dropped. 4 kills for Fame in the Pistol to keep himself at the top of the scoreboard and to give Outsiders CT side the best chance.
I'm like already worried he's going to get poached.
No.
Yeah, I know.
No.
Like from what we've seen from Fame, it's just like, dude, this guy is... Any player that's like Ykinder is like, in my opinion, the highest value player you can possibly have. When it's like a rifler who can play T-sides and who can play just aggressively enough, that's just lacking all over the world. And I'm not trying to call for it. I really don't want Jame and Outsiders and this team to have to go through more of those roster moves. But my God, he's a specimen, this Fame. bad for even bringing that into
Yeah, now it's
conversation
kind of like
in the
wafting.
world.
It stinks in here, man.
Yeah. My
Ruin
fault.
the mood, Launders.
My fault.
See if now it's James' chance. Oof. Just gets walked into oblivion. And Flit, well, he's going to keep on making all that money. Norbert over towards Pit, gets a chance to come through with 2, so down go the Glocks of MOUZ, as expected.
Yeah, and MOUZ Sports, I think they're interesting, if I remember correctly, the interesting thing about the Inferno stats they have is their T-sides in specific, even with their CT sides, like 55%, again, showing off how good they've been on T-sides overall. And they do have an Inferno loss versus Fnatic, who are also a very clean kind of team on Inferno, and that's one thing. But outside of that, we're looking at 5-1 in their last 6 maps, including the 16-2 versus Liquid. Youch!
That hurts.
It does. They even have a win versus Vitality 16-13 at the Road to Rio.
It's all very impressive. But sometimes it comes down to the day, and right now Fame is in form.
That certainly came down to the day for Cloud9 yesterday. Wow. One of the most convincing maps I've ever watched. It was... I remember the distinct feeling, not to bring it back to a different game, but when we were watching Cloud9 online, I was like, there's a point where I was like, this is the closest to perfect CS that I've ever seen. And I was like, but it's online. Right. We watched them qualify yesterday versus Heroic, and I got that exact same feeling, like deja vu. I thought, holy hell. But we've seen a lot of great Infernos, a lot of very clean T-sides. MOUZ have shown some perfect rounds absolutely themselves. But so far, so good for Outsiders. A 5v4, important player down. They've got the T's juggling. And I think a huge part of it with versus MOUZ is protecting Arch. Overprotecting Arch as much as possible. Got some very clean A splits.
Fame's gonna pop up in a moment. Yeah, Dexter sees nothing. They come at Fame and he delivers 2. So the guns get ripped from the hands of MOUZ, and there's not even time for the plant. They're gone. They're out. They save Torzi and JDC. They will find Sanctuary back in spawn, but that's a 3-0 for Outsiders because they tried to test Fame, and he just delivered another couple kills, kept his head tucked until the perfect moment to pop up, and that's just the impact that MOUZ wanted to avoid.
Yeah, he just peaked with so much conviction. Very good aim, very decent spray. And the counter utility is perfect as well. I mean, they get the flash through to separate the attack, and then they get the smoke down as well as the molly. So everything is in place to make that happen. Back to the drawing board here for MOUZ.
Talk about the Outsiders' grinds, all the maps that they constantly push to the absolute limit. I would expect that if a win comes for them here today, it would be something like that. But again, Overpass kind of stuck in their back pocket. I love that little narrative that, like, again, prior to this event, we never get to see it. And now it's just been this powering up upon it, and a 16-10 that, once they switch sides, never even looked close. So, everything coming together. Good start here on Inferno as well. Smoke grenades to block off one of the 2 AK-47s, but it's just Outsiders jockeying for a little bit of control here. Kickered at the front of it. Nice nade for Frozen. That's him down to 40. He pushes out, tries to get away before another piece of util comes, and had he not moved, he would be dead to that frag. So lucky to even be standing at the minute 20 mark.
Targeting the defaults in all the right ways so far. James next up. Oh. Missed the choke, but wasn't chased down.
He'll be given a chance to reposition towards Library, but T-Smoke then blocks off that line. JDC will be in the front of this, and we have to watch Norbert towards Pit. Oh,
what
that's
the?
clean as hell. JDC just rocks him, and Norbert, well, he's only going to come through with that one frag. So nicely done here from MOUZ, pressing into the op, who was meant to go above and beyond. We've got 2 Ts in sight, another couple over in these deeper positions, and that could be enough to just leave Outsiders falling back already.
Man.
Yep. Jamie wants his op.
Yeah, this is 3v4, but yeah, it's no utility on the site, and I'm sure MOUZ are a little bit worried about it, but it's not coming through. Outsiders like, okay, we'll take that L. Oh, those 2 headshots from JDC. It was like through the library wall. I'm not even sure what happened there. That was clean as hell.
Stinkfest. I know at the moment Maui Snake is a critic of Norbert for the time being anyways. Saying that he doesn't know if that's enough just yet. And so one of the reasons that he has MOUZ taking this series, he will have an important role to play here on Inferno, being the pit player. He's got the 4 kills for now, but as the gun rounds go on, we're going to have to see maybe another level. JDC, wow. Nice return, considering that he was at the bottom of the board on overpass, for him to just shred Jame with those sharp headshots.
Yeah, when we talk about like Fame and Fame or Jame or Flit, Norbert's not quite there. But I mean, because of those guys, you don't need him to be exactly there.
For sure.
So
That's my opinion, too.
Yeah.
Yep. I do indeed
Can't really
disagree.
trust Maui Steak because, you know,
as he puts it,
probably going to get 3 picks at a Legend.
Unluckiest analyst ever.
That's what he sounds like, too.
Literally the unluckiest analyst ever.
And I'm not even mad.
And I'm not even mad. But of course, he also recognizes his Frozen as the best rifle in the server, which that's an opinion I can agree with. Take the good with the bad. Ooh. Sometimes the ugly.
John felt too much like that was a bait. Didn't want to swing out off of it, waiting for the utility. It's a 3 setup here. It's a very, strong attack forming at the top of mid at the moment. Moto smoke coming down. They can play within smoke. Oh, sorry. That is the lurk smoke to go to CT, which can call some attention. And they are going to go for the B split. It looks like with just a lurk involved. Dexter now making it look like an A split. And these nades are working out very well. Look who's leaving the site. Kicker starting to peel back a little bit. Oh, late molly is nice and
Dexter gets shot at, but he's still going to keep going.
Oh my
Flit's
God.
lost track of him. Dexter, oh, he'll die. And over towards site, Kicker gets 1, 10 seconds. Fame's over towards quad. He could be the end of this push. Comes out into exertion and then gets stopped by Frozen, who delivers 2 kills. Bomb goes down, but James got both shots through. Woo! Talk about a crunch on multiple fronts. That round gets nasty.
Leave it to Dexter to think to hide behind that pillar.
Dude.
Who's ever done that in the history of CS?
It's because he plays hide and go seek with his kids.
Yeah, that's right. It's all the games he's playing with his child back in Australia.
Sacrifices must be made.
There was some cool things going on there from MOUZ. I mean, they made it look like it was split into arch and then smoked themselves out of the split, so it looked like a fake towards the A site, and they did that all with just their A smokes. And then the B attack, pulled Kicker far away. But Kicker, throwing that molly down as shallow as he did, really supported in delaying, allowing for Jame to come in late. Also, Fame does a fantastic job of staying alive, getting his 1, and then leaving it down to the last 2 sitting on top of each other on that default plant. Very good attempt, but right now, I mean, Outsiders look quite stable. It was a hard round that came in their direction, and they didn't falter at all. If I'm not mistaken, one of the stompy games that MOUZ had on Inferno was starting on T side and just clearing.
Yeah, wasn't that versus Liquid?
Yeah, I think it was, actually.
Very recent.
Just crazy to think about.
2 days ago, in fact.
13 T rounds versus Liquid.
Ugh. My North American heart.
But we did actually cast that, and Liquid were clearly like were super slow start. Yeah.
Norbert. Oof.
Oh, that's a big one.
Again, we talk about him needing to maybe kind of go above and beyond, and right now he's getting isolated inside of the pit. He offers no defense whatsoever.
Yeah, you can't die like that. I'll put it that simply.
So with that, Outsider's just gonna probably set up for a save if
Pit
we
guy,
know them. Pit guy.
Pit guy's got all the options.
Yeah.
He's got a big ass wall in front of him. He'll have all of his utility. He has a one-way smoke. He has the bike for a headshot peek on lane. He has a small pit that he can rotate to. He has enough space for 2 people, so you can't even be sure he's a big pit. So
Open distance all around you.
when you have all that, you're the best spot on the site. You simply can't die.
But he did.
He did. And look what happened.
Outsiders lose a round off of the back of that 1 kill. 1 man goes down. Ooh, nade? Oh!
Oh, they're gonna die in pit.
The plant's far, but yeah, that might
Oh,
work.
is it far punt? Okay.
Yo! Oh, Doja, my
Doja.
guy. Still here in spirit. And honestly, Exertion, lucky to have survived it. But yeah, laughs all around. MOUZ, they got to give credit where it's due.
That was a well-placed grenade right there.
Exertion, 2 health. That would have been a double kill. Yeah, I mean, he's just... You could have gotten blind and still just tucked even, maybe giving himself a better chance.
Yes, well, that was the thing,
Right.
peeking after the tuck. He was completely alone there for a second, so the setup wasn't exactly favoring him, and in that situation, it was a perfect call for MOUZ to go for the Hulk pop. But, yeah, he both ate the flash and didn't get a kill and died.
Frozen, who has been pelted by utility a couple of rounds now, is dropped down to 39.
It's always an interesting mind game to see. Well, they mollied logs this time, so they have the nades for Bell to complement it, and that's why we'll see sometimes people will smoke the molly on logs, make it seem like someone's there at least, so the nades go in the wrong direction, this time leave it open.
Oh,
Norbert.
Uh-oh.
Norby.
Again, and dink into Jame. Jame with the dented cranium. He's going to have to just limp back into that A site, but I do enjoy the fact that, you know, Outsiders, they don't move on this.
How is this just, yeah, this is actually just going to fall into their lap, it might seem.
Unless
Bomb's
Bomb
going
doubles
back.
back.
Okay.
Yeah, with that util, they're just going to draw everybody into this B site. They're going to throw a couple players at it. Ooh, Exertion's been killed, and then that second player in is gone. But again, MOUZ, they think that this fake is kind of wild away around. It's really just Outsiders who look to be transitioning into a B save regardless.
Dude, the calling is very lucid with the T sides right there. I mean, they get the most amount of rotations possible. Even that round where Fame kind of saves it and Kickers late molly and stuff, they get it down to 1 player in the B side, and it's very hard to trick Outsiders, so you gotta say, MOUZ are working the map extremely well. Have you come around on the logo, or did you like it already?
No.
No.
I mean, I didn't like it to begin with,
Right.
and I don't like the rebrand either.
Yeah. I think yeah, I don't know. Still, like, I like it like more than right away,
That's fair.
but I wonder if they climb the rankings, will it change the, you know, like Balenciaga, you know? They
Right.
just make trash,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
since they're so popular, it's like, it does change the way you look at it.
It's kind of true. I never even knew about Champion until they got into esports. And I was like, hey, okay.
Did you not grow up like seeing Champion, or
Man, I grew up where we don't got brands.
they didn't even have avocados where you come from?
Why is that true? Why is that a true statement, man?
Oh, this is sloppy from Norbert.
Oh, man. Yeah, Norberto has been kind of stuffed back-to-back rounds, so our microscope continues to zone in on him like a singular cell organism. Will it adapt or will it just die?
What if you just zoomed in on an amoeba and then it just had a little name tag that said Norbert in Newsweek?
I'd say this guy's destined for majors.
Yeah.
Here we go. Variation in Norbert. He's gone from pit to a part. Oh, no! He just gets shredded by JDC, who's looked really good. I have to say, step up from the first map. Torzi. Dude, Jane just survives everything. Wallbangs through constant cover. This time it's the op shot into his side. Torzi well timed because we saw those CTs pressing into the site and keeping MOUZ away from it. Now they're going to have to transition into their third consecutive save over and over. That bomb will blow up as MOUZ rack up the rounds, but that's also 3 consecutive rounds where Norbert gets nothing.
Yeah.
He's tried different spots.
Maybe Maui was right. The JDC, we'll give some credit to JDC as well. Great shot right there.
Yeah, dude.
One thing is for sure, we noticed Norbert, he really likes to try to get damage first instead of waiting for the flash and then peeking after the fact. So he is kind of taking the full brunt of the entries straight on, which stylistically might work versus some teams. And sometimes you don't want to like let everyone out and then start peeking because your life can only get worse. But in this situation so far, they've kind of like figured him out in pit, and then where he moved to next, they figured that out as well.
I mean, JDC is also, that kill matrix is literally JDC, Norbert, 3-0.
Yeah, and JDC was pretty nuts on overpass as well. It's one of the few players on MOUZ that was actually performing up to expectation with his entries, his pit holds. His aim has been solid. He was kind of the one academy player who he had like a full streamer setup with like streamer lights. Remember when we saw his cams? Like he was putting on a show.
I said this to Shuhei, unfortunately, when Gamer Legion were eliminated, that like we could just tell after a couple of those seasons. Like I remember just the demeanor of the MOUZ NXT guys was always sort of that next level of professionalism.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I wasn't shocked to see most of them get call-ups. I am shocked by how quickly they've transitioned into a competent and competitive Tier 1 team. Looking to get themselves into the playoffs of a major is no joke. And doing it with majority academy players is very impressive, you know.
Frozen in some ways is also still always going to be that young kid to me because he was the guy who was like on Reddit when he was like 13 or 14 years old. And people are like, look at this kid's face it, he's going to be next up. And he's just kind of a quiet case doing more interviews, which is cool because he's actually now one of the most experienced players on the team. Actually the most experienced Tier 1 player on the team. But I've still always kind of remembered him as like a ROPS or some other kind of very young up-and-coming player who is a phenom to begin with.
This frag grenade we see in Arch has actually been left here multiple rounds already, so that's cool. Just sat there. Last time, actually, Dexter stole it. That time he went and hid behind the pillar.
It's like a magpie.
Yeah, he got a free, or like
artillery.
Or like a ferret.
Do they steal?
Yeah, they love stealing stuff.
Oh, these nades have been really well placed. I mean, they're getting a chunk off on almost every single one.
Finally, Frozen's not the guy that gets chipped down to 50. So we'll see him on the entry here. He's, of course, got Dexter right behind him. Gets a lot of utility out of this defense. Man, they drop it all. And JDC, well, he'll be met by fire as well. Norbert preemptively puts the smoke down in pit, and he will best JDC. Here we go. Round for Norbert, and that could actually lead to Outsiders winning one on an A-hold, but Flick gets found out in smoke. Norbert, he'll find himself a second. Bomb's going down in the backside. Norbert's got a player up on Graveyard, and that instant position from exertion doesn't kill Norbert, does at least get James. Falls onto Frozen 1v3. His teammate put the bomb down. He's not come out from apps this entire time, and so Outsiders don't know where exactly he's got off to.
Yeah, this is the last place they seem to expect, and they're really opening themselves up to him.
Strikes one down, and Norbert, hell of a delivery, and about damn time.
Wow.
From 3 empty-handed rounds to a 4K from the pit, and look at the difference it makes.
Seriously, I like the round a lot from MOUZ NXT with the way they sold that fake because they've been so successful on their fakes that Outsiders are conditioned to like make mistakes in the rotations, and this puts more pressure on Norbert because he's either been alone or only had a couple of players here. He at least had Fillet to draw a distraction, but Flick gets nothing. Norbert does everything right there. So that's very well done from him. And of course, the most important revenge frag on JDC as the opener makes that competitive in the first place, allows a retake to take place. He's probably feeling a little bit better after that one.
That's what we needed. We saw the weakness, we highlighted the importance, and then the difference nets them the win. Ooh, Norbert though, back to losing ways. Not inside the safety of the pit. Tries to press into short side, gets rocked for it. Flit takes his place. James slides into the arch, does it silently, so Dexter can't figure this one out. And now it's Flit and Pit instead. Tease, despite being this close to arch, already starting to peel back ever so slightly.
They're actually faking again. But they've got the CTs off of arch, which is the really most important thing. Oh, but they don't smoke library. They actually smoke the motocross. One goes wide. Oh, Dexter on the other side of the other IGL.
Gets the timing. Flit will find him on the fallback, and inside the B site, Kicker can't deliver much because he gets smoked off on cross. But MOUZ also don't run through it, and so this boost could be perfectly timed. Exertion's gonna go through smoke. He actually gets Kicker, but the player up above, oh, Fame, caught by torze. It looked like Exertion could have been toppled by the player on the bottom, and then the guys crossing get killed, but instead, with low health on all four, MOUZ will tie this game again.
Yeah, so the next protocol there was to try to bait for the boost so that it's easier for Fame as the shots come down. And torze, I think he was just really aware of the thought that that could happen despite the, shots coming through the smoke. And they both do a good job of not getting tunnel vision. So another very strong round out of MOUZ, and you can see Dexter coming flying through on the lurk, and it's like, oh crap, it's B again. But they once again, they get it down to one player over there. I mean, they're seriously doing fantastic things with their T-side calls on Inferno. One mid control, put pressure on Arch, got the opening frag here.
Ooh, that's how that goes down? Okay. Yeah, okay, I was double checking. I thought for a second, like, wait, who saved? Nobody did. Kicker just straight up bought Jamin off for this round.
That's James Goat right there. Or Mule. See if it pays off.
If you
You're
don't win the
think
round.
about it. Oh.
Ooh! Exertion, thinking he could slide in while the gun was on rotation, but no, he gets stuffed, and Dexter just a shot away from death.
Yeah.
Oh, nice nades. Frozen, torze, they'll kill Kicker. Not only having to buy with all his money, but also just bombarded on the CT cross.
Now let's see if there's going to be another fake. We've got JDC, who's been entering, working into mid at the moment. Frozen up close, and Norbert making a wraparound. So this is an interesting spot where they're actually going to wait, I think, for the timing through CT. I don't know.
JDC could
They're just
unravel
going to go
everything.
back off of this. Norbert's going quite quickly. I'm not sure if a decision has actually been made. It feels like they're trying to search with JDC and then deciding where they go from there. Still 30 seconds, and they don't want to bungle something on an eco here.
Fame's not watching CT, though. He's just playing counter flash, so JDC will get into position in time.
James.
But they still have to end up hitting this B site, which means James Odds aren't really with him. Flit falls into orange. Bomb's been dropped in the meanwhile. Norbert's going to attack it from the back. That's going to occupy torze. James still in the position, but torze saves that. I mean, time starts to become a problem. Flank is there. Torze's down to 8 as he gets hit by Norbert rushing up Banana. Whoa.
Yeah.
Too close.
Yeah, absolutely. That could have even been slowed down from Norbert because James has the fall back into the site. And it got very scary. But that lurk from JDC, they just let it work. They didn't over...
Wow.
Oh, wow. They didn't go too quickly. That was a hard shot from torze.
That's what they needed. Don't blame you, Norbert. That one must have stung. Outsiders bounce into this. It's Kicker, who's now limited again, playing MP9. 3 smokes, no incendiaries, and Kicker leaves his at the back of the B site. He'll rotate back into it, pick it back up. It's his after all. We get this 2 players set up inside a boiler. Interesting, right? We've seen a lot of variation out of Norbert, but we've also just seen JDC completely rip his head off.
He's been nuts.
Norbert has died like that in at least 4 different positions.
Exertion really far ahead. Oh, he's not going to see the op on lane. James, he's not even thinking about this at all. No noise has been made so far, but it feels like it's only a minute. Oh, James now he flicks around, yeah.
Not going to miss that shot.
JDC.
Yeah, bomb comes out.
Dexter, sorry.
He'll find the trade frag with that. The plant and his teammates in mid can scramble over quick. Flit has vision over fire. Dexter's got to be careful here. Smoke actually comes out. And that's going to keep Flit out of the equation. It's going to keep Outsiders out of the retake and also the lead. MOUZ extend it to a 7-5 T-side so far, and now we're starting to get, you know, colors of that T-side versus Liquid.
Absolutely.
You know,
yeah.
Outsiders win pistol because of the fact that Fame drops 4 kills, 3 of their 5 rounds by way of those conversions. It's just MOUZ tearing it up now.
Yeah, I mean, it's been incredibly lucid from MOUZ. You can see exactly why they're doing things. They've been able to get Outsiders to rotate way too heavily. They've loosened up both Bracket and Banana easily. Like, Outsiders are thinking about, how do we pick the right site to stack? After some early grenades and stuff come down, MOUZ are winning top Banana consistently. They haven't had to go through crazy fights where they just send someone to go in entry. And then JDC out of halls, man. Hardest place to entry easily of almost any map. Entering out of halls is one of the most difficult jobs you can have, and he has been one-bulleting Norbert like every single round. Wow, almost all their timeouts are being used here in the first half. James said, if we use them now, no one can interrupt me on T side.
My calls.
Yeah.
Cyclone not feeling the need to really get into the mix here. Why would you? MOUZ, excellent T-side thus far. Outsiders stringing together buys after buys. I do sympathize for Norbert. I feel like I'm watching him get bullied.
Yeah, he's getting owned. I mean, it's unfortunately, he's just getting one-bulleted.
It's just not my place to intervene.
Yeah.
Sorry, kid. It builds character. Little cache of grenades here for Kicker. He's going to come back in with another volley, but better be careful. Kicker actually got hit by Torzi there on the fallback.
Yeah. I got flustered, couldn't throw his grenade.
Look at that bullet hole. Look how thick, look how far into the wall it is. Kicker still just gets hit by that. Well, chip damage, but yeah, the comparison to Kicker, who is a solo hold on B right now. Look how many players they're sticking over there with Norbert trying to protect him. The band of brothers trying to come together, but MOUZ, they'll just do as they damn well please towards B this time, and despite maybe expecting resistance, they'll finish off what was started by Torzi. Kicker dead, and Outsiders have to save once more.
Totally outcalled in condition. So finally they don't fake, and Outsiders, they don't move because they think there's at least going to be 2 parts to this attack. They're going to work B a little bit now, but they'll probably show something in A. If they commit, we don't know, but yes. And so what a game of conditioning here from MOUZ Sports. Can we still call them that? I don't even know. MOUZ.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, no more sports.
Sports are for jocks.
What about chess? That's a sport. It is. Whether you want it to be or not.
What about ultimate frisbee?
That's a sport.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should see. You'd be appalled by the list of sports. You'd be appalled.
Now, badminton.
Speed walking.
Badminton is a sport.
Badminton is also, yes, that's a sport.
Little badminton duos, my God. The finesse. Here we go, MOUZ. Keep tearing it up. Again, you know, when we're playing for a spot in the playoffs at a major, yeah, you don't want that to be the time that Outsiders finally figure out your Inferno. Put them down nice and easy. Push this one to Mirage, and then we'll get a bunch of Pug Stars duking it out. But for now, Outsiders, why not? You know, throw caution to the wind, get down Banana, start to fight, in fact. No more responsive CS. Go ahead, take your peeks, take your duels, and look what it does. Choose up MOUZ here. 3 frags down already at the minute 15 mark, and Flit, well, he'll be up next. It's John De Castro, who, honestly, has had some really sickening headshots versus Norbert.
Yeah, you just look at the stats, and you'd be like, oh, who's the best player on the team? It was definitely
JDC this half.
What's crazy is, JDC only has 7 kills. It's just the fact that 4 or 5 of them is against Norbert every time. And Flit, well, he'll put him down for good. At least here, round 14, looking like it's outsiders to take. Torzi, T-side, tons of money for the follow-up. So honestly, do as much damage as you can. See if he can add one to the highlight reel. No, sir, nothing at all for MOUZ in round 14. It'll be outsiders with a 6th as they gun for the 7th.
Continues to be competitive. And outsiders, I mean, they never actually tried to do that double swing on the half wall. Frozen is a very fierce B default, and on Liquid, I think he got a 4K. It was so close to an ace. It was like literally shades of Freiburg with how insane it was when it came to attacking the B site. And outsiders, while they've done a good job of getting damage on Banana without showing themselves, in kind of a big style fashion, throwing nades from sight, way back, leaving a lot of HEs in particular, they never got those kills. And MOUZ were doing great at keeping 5 alive long periods of time in this half, and then just making it about the execs and not just Banana control.
There we go.
So consistent with those.
Right? Tries to track it through the walls. And he'll have to put that one out as he throws out his own incendiary. We get a little bit of support here for Exertion. 2 members of MOUZ up mid, bomb in tow. It's going to be an A hit to end it all. James gone, though, right? He did Norbert's job of being that front runner at A site, and he said, okay, it's 5v4. You got this. Leaves him inside of the pit, leaves Flit nearby, and Exertion, I like this. He finds his little bit of vision over the smoke. What a risk to run.
It's a one-way for him on that while it's still up.
But no CT actually shows anything, so now apartment smoked off from the pit. Norbert won't have anything to put out fire, but it's just Dexter's Molotov, really, that can be thrown. And so it forces Norbert forward. Flip's going to take the top rope from Graveyard, kills Exertion, and now all that's left of MOUZ stranded on the short side. It's a 3v5 attempt to close the T-half, and Frozen brings it back by 1. Norbert's nade finds its target. He invites Frozen to come peering down to the little pit. 15 seconds left. Dexter, it's all that's going to be able to fight here 1v4. He's surrounded, swarmed, and dealt with, as outsiders will add 2 rounds at the end of that half to their tally. It's only 7 on a CT side. You wouldn't think it's enough, but we'll find out in just a moment.
I think our challenger stage was really good. We played how we wanted. To be honest, it was a little bit surprising we went Rio, but I was expecting we will do good because our preparation was really good. We had a boot camp in Hamburg, so yeah, we were ready, and yeah, everyone played really well. The one map we dropped, it was Inferno versus Fnatic, right? And I think it was on me. I didn't really play good on that map, and also on the city side, I had several mistakes, but we already talked about it, and yeah.
The biggest difference in challenger stage and in the legend stage that in legend stage is much better enemies, but at the same time in challengers it's the good enemies as well, but the best of the best is right now in legend stage.
Well, we always knew that MOUZ should have the edge on Inferno. Historically, between these two teams, and there's a lot of history, it's always gone their way. I think that, of course, after seeing the T side versus Liquid, that Outsiders should be content with 7, but know that this is still very much an uphill battle. They're going to have to go above and beyond if they want to truly close this 2-0. If not, Mirage not far off, and a CT side here from MOUZ could be the quick end.
Shooting 55%, CT and T side. MOUZ should feel fine. Got some CT advantages. Outsiders, though, some convincing pistols so far in this game. I think won both on overpass. All 3, I guess, to kick this game off. Shooting for the 4 out of 4. And that would be a recipe for a 2-0 upset, potentially in a matchup that seemingly is quite close and not a storied history, but so much frequency in terms of their last couple of events. Most persistent map of all is is Inferno. 3 games played. This is the 4th time. And now their 4th appearance playing against each other.
Yeah. When it's, their best of 1 map, it's always MOUZ. Even in the best of 3, they pick it up, but that best of 3 was Outsiders' match win. So outside of Inferno, technically Outsiders have MOUZ's number. Curious with Mirage in the waiting room. Speaking of waiting, down to the 42nd mark, we've got Flash and a Molotov between Jame and Norbert. JDC sees smoke and peels away. There is no one in the A side.
Man, there's no one pit.
Nobody home.
Okay.
Except Torzi. Decides to get aggressive with Berettas, takes down Outsiders IGL, and the bomb plant will come for free. I wonder if that's surprising to Outsiders, that there's really no resistance other than Torzi running through a smoke, but we'll have apartments control for Flit, and that could bode well.
Yeah, Hall's control is huge. Torzi's dualies, I assume, are going to make a big difference here if they try to run down the site. They've got a split coming in, and Flit's going to get in the mix.
And the retake smoke goes down in front of Pitts. Fame and Norbert kill a piece, but Trade's looking like the CT's come in. Norbert's going to have to run, try to get on bomb, and frozen. Wow. Nice tap up into Flit. The headshot's clean, the cover's great, and Dexter, ice in his veins, gets to stick that defuse all the way. So it's only 3 out of 4 now for Pistols.
Actually crazy Dexter runs for that defuse when he has a 10-second stick, but it's the reason that it pulls the T's in his direction, just allows Frozen to have some easy fights. So, very tricky play, basically. Nice opening kill, and good disrespect to that arch smoke. I mean, if this comes down to 5v5 in the retake, it's a lot more difficult. So 5v4, they run their advantages really well. And they split nice and fast. It's chaotic. It could have gone any way. And for Outsiders, they'll be very happy to get a plant. It does remove the amount of SMGs you can have on this round for the CT side. So that in itself is a win.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Okay. Kicker.
Stray shot through the smoke. Now there's 2 more CTs over on the B site. Torji, though, one of the good guns here inside a pit.
Sees them. They're coming for him. He'll throw that down preemptively, but it's actually Outsiders to also smoke him off. Oh, Norbert. Oh, Flit. Yikes. Outsiders with Galils have found their home.
Norbert said, I can entry too. Damn, those sprays were not very good. Not a single point of damage done to Outsiders.
Not
on
one
this
bullet.
Round. Wow. Nothing has landed.
And we saw Exertion over on Banana just swinging the baseball bat in the dark room. Some damage comes through, but of course
it.
James survives it.
Wow. Wasn't expecting that on this round.
I'm telling you, a meteor could hit this planet, and the only guy who lives is James.
This is James, yeah.
He takes so much damage all the time, constantly getting headshot, and he's okay. So, a spanner in the works with this upset.
Wonder why they look so flustered there in the two
Yeah.
pit hole. They both just missed so badly. Feels uncharacteristic. I don't think that'll happen again, but for outsiders, they're just like, cool. Didn't have
Take
to
it.
rebuy a single gun and got upgrades to the silenced M4s.
That free change of seat, premium economy. Good to go. Meanwhile, MOUZ left eating peanuts. Single FAMAS, pistols sprinkled around it. Makes things curious, just because, you know, a blowout on this second half, kind of like what Outsiders did within Overpass, would have just kept MOUZ fresh on everybody's minds. Kicker, wowza, runs in. There's a CT between them, but Exertion will get found out. His shins seen by James, and with 3 Ts all in these corners, I mean, that was the Bermuda Triangle of bottom banana. MOUZ's players disappear, never to be seen again. Like Amelia Earnhardt.
Earhart.
Okay.
We actually have the same birthday.
Do you?
Yeah.
Spooky.
No.
Oh yeah, Earnhardt. Those are those are NASCAR racers.
Are they?
Yeah, Dale Earnhardt.
Okay.
And Dale Earnhardt Jr.
It's almost like a plane, I guess. Not quite as fast.
Pistols are in the right spot here. Oh, come on, MOUZ. Get something going. Ah, 1 kill off of oranges. Dexter, yeah, swimming with the fish. As Flit puts an end to that one, ties this game up 9 apiece. And CTs still can't buy.
We don't like to get too excited on map 2 because in map 3 could happen, but this is for a legend spot, so it's about to get very tense here for MOUZ Sports.
Nay, sir. Playoff spot.
Or sorry, yeah, it's to get through legends. Top 8 on the line.
My God.
And a very, very close kind of ranking matchup, so you just can't look at the fact that you're up 2-1. You got to remember that this could be the easier one. I mean, you're not playing against NAVI.
Yeah.
You're not playing against Vitality.
Yeah, they're both powering up.
And even if they're 1-2, you know that it's still those teams. They can be good at any moment.
And you're hoping somebody else puts them to bed so that maybe you don't have to.
Oh, boy.
That was 5 kills in an instant.
Oh, boy.
A meat grinder on Banana. MOUZ get chorizoed.
Yummy.
And at least now they'll be able to bounce in with a bye. So Fame just padding stats. Kicker right there with him. That's the A1S doing its work. The sounds of success for CTs. Except it's in the hands of Fame. He stole it. That boon to the early economy because of the force buy win. Oh. T-side find a home for that frag. It's Exertion and Frozen both chipped away, and Exertion even sitting inside the fire, now only on half. So Outsiders, they see that as maybe a chance to go take Banana. Now we saw Outsiders very far and few between going for the actual pushes down Banana for their aggression on the B site. So far, MOUZ playing it similarly.
Oh, MOUZ won the pistol in this one, actually, right? But they didn't streak. They got 3 rounds and 4 rounds in a row the last 2 times on CT side at the beginning of both halves, and ended with 8 and 10 rounds respectively versus the Outsiders last time around. And that was off the first half, and they ended on T side and just kind of cruised to the finish line. They were very good at adapting when it came to their T sides, even in this game, across a lot of their maps. So some of the markers of why they won previously are not really there right now. But that'll help out a lot. Norbert goes down inside of Halls.
That's actually Outsiders all the way back. Luckily, you can rotate as many times as you want.
That's true.
And they've still got the nades to try and follow through, so it's going to come down to the wire and exertion from the back of Quad. Oh, yeah, now he's smoked off. Frozen, top orange. Oh, Kicker blasts him away. Both kills. Still time to plant. He's got it. Flit busy with the numbers, but down to the wire.
Jesus.
They crunch into that B site. They smash through both CTs. No defense offered up from the original B defenders, and now it's going to be the MOUZ retake with man disadvantage. They take a glance at site, and they think better of it. All they want to do is leave.
And Outsiders are going to let them. They have just been looking to win these rounds as cleanly as possible.
That's so Jame.
Dude, yeah, he was like, this is a bad idea. I'm going to tell you this. You got to believe me. We have to go back to B. They even set up the God Flash perfectly, and it's so rushed. I think MOUZ are just thinking we're going to get a free frag here if we just sit and watch. And instead, the guy who's sitting on top of second oranges, he's blind for like what feels like 4 seconds. He is out of the round. Kicker and the entries right now for Outsiders have been pretty impressive, gotta say. That's why it looks so ridiculous.
Because it is.
Yeah.
And Flit, he just stuck that plant where he could.
Well, another buy here with the saved guns. Well, how much of an investment, actually? It's so annoying to have rounds like these, because you're like, we can win this round. We don't even... Ooh, they're actually full investing. The problem is the op. If you have like 3 rifles and you go, okay, we put some pistol behind it, we have a good chance, and our money just stays exactly the same. But now they're just going into a full investment. And they get all their nades and everything like that.
Pretty
but
healthy.
No, it's totally a good buy.
Yep.
But they spent all their money, of course. It feels like a lot rides on this. Look at the amount of money that Outsiders have right now.
A ton of money and also a ton of frags, man.
Yeah.
The kill department just outdoing MOUZ.
Yeah, Dexter has like 30 ADR at the moment.
Honestly, bless Norbert for getting smoked in that first half. His big 4K moment was really all he offered us on the defense. And now he's right up there with them, trying to keep it going. JDC, easy angle. Of course he kills Norbert again. It's just the one thing, the one piece of continuity across both halves. Fame's going to get the revenge. Dexter slots in, hides in the corner. Kicker just cancels him out. Drop kick in the corner of the bomb site, and it's Outsiders to just slide right through with ease.
Their ability to make people uncomfortable, they pushed up, made it feel like the full exec was coming and that everyone was going to run lane. CTs were in really great crossfire positions to stop them if they did, and then they just paused for a second, threw their big pit molly, took an off angle on the rotate, and then the player on site has nothing. The split's coming in from Arch, the smokes come down. MOUZ decided to play 3B off that round, and it's like a little bit of them. You know, MOUZ were doing this really well at a different speed, but it's very similar. But of course, one thing is constant. JDC had to kill Norbert, no matter what happens.
Norbert has accepted his
Norbert
role.
might be having a great game if not for JDC. He still has 12. He's still somehow positive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Even though it feels like he's seen just JDC's face for like 1 second every round.
And JDC is 9 kills, 14 deaths.
All Norbert.
At least 6 of them.
Can I check while the round's live? Let me see.
I swear.
Yeah, I need to see this kill matrix. It's got to be like 8-1 or something.
It's insane. It's just this one little, like, you know, underlying story within this head-to-head. And while Outsiders rack up round wins, Norbert's like, bro, give me a break. Just give me some space,
Why
would
do you hate me?
And JDC is just attached to his back. Burying him round after round. Tons of utility pressure on Torji. He's down to 44 health. Kicker's going to try to move in, but there's Frozen, who has hit hard for MOUZ. Getting an opening kill. Dexter, that one comes easy. Norbert, I mean, you deserve it that time. Runs out Boiler, looks the wrong way, completely alone, and just gets ended. So double man advantage for MOUZ. A good chance for the CT side to get back in with a win. But of course, Outsiders, they'll press with what they can, right? Smokes over on Arch. A chance to push up from lane. All you have to do is clear out this pit. It's JDC and Dexter. They're going to be smoked off. That gives space to the T's, but Dexter delivers. Flit finds the quick response. JDC slides out, and he's got himself all 3. Or 2. But hey, It looks good.
He ended it. Yeah.
That's all that
nice
matters.
bit hold overall. They've been consistently smoking inside of the pit to make sure he can't use his one way. That's one thing. Sometimes you'll molly and then it'll get smoked out, and then it just creates a hard situation to scale. Definitely, you can molly if you know that they don't have any smokes left over or something like that, but situations a lot of the times calls for a smoke for sure. This is well done. They get pulled apart a little bit. Remember how that opening kill came down, frozen at the top of Banana. Into Norbert dying, coming out of Boiler.
Kicker.
Oh, it's a fast strat, man.
Real fast. Forze, he's smoked off as well, so it's going to be tough for him to get out of here. Kicker goes running into the bomb site, almost gets the kill to Dexter. Barely he's staying on. Forze cleared out. Norbert's got a double kill.
That's a sight.
A site smashed wide open again.
What the hell?
Busted like a window.
Through lane only on a half buy.
MOUZ shattered.
They were just not ready for anything fast right there. Forze in the hall's like,
So
I'm
awkward of a
easy
spot.
default right now. I'm going to get one kill, and it's going to be chill. They get swarmed.
Wow. Outsiders, led by the Time Wizard. He knows what to do and when to do it.
Period. That should go on the back of his shirt.
That's Outsiders 13th. The economy for the CTs, it'll be okay.
Yeah, the saves are huge.
Yeah, it'll be okay. Their hands have been forced. Bomb will kill James. Yup.
Even that, the new Inferno bomb is the only thing that can kill James.
It's the only thing.
Consistently.
His choice.
Only
Go
Valve.
down with it.
Only Valve can take him. Insane calls right now coming out. That fast lane hit. The round before it doesn't go too well, but outside of that, some good T rounds here so far from Outsiders. They are 3 rounds away from locking in top 8.
Crazy.
Furia, Cloud9, Outsiders.
Yeah, bro.
Already?
Yeah, everyone.
It's not even the 2-2 matchup.
Right?
It seemed like it needed to be
Yes.
the 2-2, map 3, overtime,
Time.
second overtime
Yes.
to make sure that Outsiders were really paid
Yeah,
by the round.
You know, James 1 versus 3 out of nowhere type close.
Yes.
That felt like the only formula that Outsiders were supposed to use. This is quite nuts.
It would be revenge on MOUZ, top 8. Most important, I mean, I don't think they care about revenge versus MOUZ
No.
compared to top 8.
I think that actually just works really well in Outsiders' favor in the sense that there's been a lot of maps played between these teams. And again, a lot of Inferno. A lot of Inferno every time.
And the pressure conversation comes in. I mean, this is like MOUZ expecting to win this, and it's Outsiders, the team that we feel like are going to be just more regulars in pressured situations like this and have never really faltered. They lose rounds because they sometimes can lose rounds, but
Yeah. It's not always pretty.
it's almost never because of pressure. That's what it feels like. So.
If anybody was going to crumble under pressure here on the side of Outsiders, you know, we could have expected it from Norbert, who still has some criticisms around him. We could have thought maybe Fame would drop off and not deliver
Yeah,
because, again,
he's new.
he's newer. You know, this is an Outsiders that at the last major did not make it through Legends. They fell 1-3 in that group. Lost to G2. And then they lost Yakinder. And you'd think, like, if you couldn't make playoffs with Yakinder, and then all of a sudden you lose him on your roster, how can you reinvent yourself? And if you do manage to reinvent yourself, can you do it fast enough to make it into, again, playoffs at the very next major?
James said yes.
And I love the fact that they also come through and just say, like, we can't replace him 1-for-1. We're going to have to change a bit.
Yeah.
They have.
But let's see here. MOUZ a little bit low on grenades, but still very alive in this round. Oh no!
Missed shot.
Oh, that's a bad miss.
Again.
Torzi with 2 players on A dead. Norbert kills.
Again.
Torzi and the JDC goes down and they just explode. And there's no chance. There's such a similarity between the way in which Outsiders are winning these rounds versus how MOUZ did it to them. The tempo's a little bit different, but right here they were literally not even ready to full exec with 5 players. There are 2 players still at the top of Banana, working the map and the default.
It's just the early success at A, right? I don't
And
think
now
Outsiders...
look at this money, man. There's a huge incentive to just actually try to commit to chasing down 3
God.
players in their perfect save positions.
12,000 on Fame. I mean, he could buy half the team.
This could be the map if they don't stay alive in the save.
MOUZ, best of luck. Hang on for dear life. Exertion, back sight. And man, has he ever been quiet? Only 8 kills on this map. He's going to be found out. Traded by Fame. Easy does it. flit. He's going to fixate on to construction. They're hoping, they're holding, they're hanging on. Fame in the last few seconds, he could get Dexter. It's frozen to die out, so at least one weapon saved here from MOUZ.
Yes,
They immediately called attack timeout. How can they afford to hold on?
Yeah, nothing left. They'll be able to buy here on this round. This is defending against match point. Man. They have one really kind of solid round overall here on the CT side, but this is not as good as so many of their recent games. They played Inferno a ton in the last few matchups, whether it was versus Outsiders or otherwise. This definitely has more to do with the situation, and Outsiders leveling up their game in order to be able to finally beat MOUZ on this map is what we're seeing here. And what a time to do it when it matters the most.
Oh my god, the turnaround in this T side. We have 2 CT round wins for MOUZ. That is all. Oh! And just like that, he knows!
It's the Shiro. It's the Shiro T offshot, dude. It's no way.
The Time Wizard always knows where to be and when to be. A drop kick into MOUZ's hearts that's going to force Dexter to try to press this forward. He at least brings it back. Norbert goes down again, but that's what they've come to expect. It doesn't matter. James just caught Dexter.
Oh my god, another wallbang headshot.
On the fallback through apartments, where's that death at?
And Torji, he has no op, but he's still going to stay here, and he dies too.
Fame not going to stop. It's low HP on James.
Oh my
it's
god.
Fame sitting on 10. This was the 3rd victim. Dexter's brain and MOUZ's hopes splattered in apartments, shattered down banana. A nasty collateral. It's what got Cloud9 into playoffs, and it's what's going to put Outsiders on match point.
And that's with the 2 extra kills on this previous round. MOUZ are going to spend every dollar they can, but we didn't even have an op from Torzi last round.
Oh, it's identical.
It's literally.
It's identical.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. I mean,
dude.
That the Shiro op shot yesterday in the T side comeback versus Heroic to make it into the top 8, met by James.
It's identical.
His brother in the CIS with the same flick. I called that one of the craziest shots I've ever seen.
You said I've never seen something like this.
Never seen something like that, and it happens back-to-back days in the same circumstances. It's uncanny. It's unbelievable.
Oh my god.
And it might be just as impactful. Man.
Back-to-back days.
Crazy. What do we have, man? 3 Fomuses, 2 M4s, some bits of utility, but a frog in the throat and the thought that this is not us playing right now on Inferno. This is not us in the history of us playing against Outsiders. This does not feel like our day. And we know on our best we could make this an overtime game and make this comeback happen.
For sure.
It feels like something special is in the air here for Outsiders, looking to qualify to the big boy stadium in top 8. Damn, what could be the biggest major of all time.
To do it with 2 new players as well. Norbert and Fame, from their first challengers with Outsiders to their first legends to their first playoffs. What a run this would be. And I love that just little added ingredient of, yes, revenge versus MOUZ. I don't think it's the most important thing in their minds, but it's a head-to-head that they've become accustomed to.
Trying to silent drop, and they both fail. And that's actually information here from MOUZ, but they're going to be locked into lane. Now they're set up in a position to retake in a mid if they think that the team's leaving. One player here in Exertion in a rotator position, starting to move into the site. He's got a lot of weight on his shoulders.
Highest rated player from the challenger stage for MOUZ. Very quiet game on Inferno. and desperately calling for reinforcements because the onslaught comes through. That's a ton of damage. That's a hold Exertion can be proud of. But is it enough to put away Outsiders in this one? The bomb plant's theirs for the taking, and the retake utility. Imagine if they had a better buy, a frag, an incendiary. It would force both Norbert and Kickert into their graves. Instead, it's going to be Jame behind quad with a teammate right next to him. If he can strike lightning into the CT cross, then there may not even be the chance. Flit also can offer up help, but Kickert goes down first. James not going to miss that one. And now these CTs, the desperation starts to come in, and Outsiders a single kill away. Frozen tries to take it from them, but time is on Outsiders' side, as it always is. Playoffs for the Outsiders. They've